Piqué without his regular partner Sergio Ramos this evening with Piliqueta. There is David Silva. First Spain attack. Costa gets out of the way. Koke's there. Switzerland being stretched. Oh, and a tremendous save from Yann Sommer. They started where they left off against Argentina.
Well, it's outstanding build-up. It's a long diagonal pass from Gerard Piqué that sets the attack off in motion and then scintillating attacking play in terms of quickness of movement, passing. A couple of attempts on goal.
There is David Silva to Andres Iniesta. Thiago, who has played the last two games in the central midfield position, and he has actually charging Busquets for that pivotal role. With Piliqueta, who can play anywhere across the back four, and that might be useful if Dani Carvajal doesn't fully recover after his knock against Liverpool in Kiev last week. Odriozola to Piqué. Missing out the midfield, using Odriozola. The referee not buying the fall of Iago Aspas. Piliqueta to Andres Iniesta. Now Costa. Playing for his place, overlapping is Silva. Costa. Excellent tackle by Jamaili. Well, Switzerland are a quietly efficient team. They scored 23 goals in the qualifiers. They conceded only 7. As Northern Ireland found out, they are very well drilled and organised, beating Northern Ireland by a single goal in the first leg. A penalty at that, of course, controversially, from Ricardo Rodriguez.
They certainly had an outstanding qualifying group stage, didn't they? Won 9 games, just lost 1 against Portugal, who had an identical record. They beat each other, of course, and Portugal going through top in the group in terms of goal difference. It's a tough opening game for Switzerland to face Brazil in the opening game. It's a tough group against Serbia and Costa Rica as well. So it's important they're well prepared, and I think they definitely do need Granit Xhaka back in midfield. That would be a huge blow if he's not available and fit for the early stages, at the very least, of the group matches.
Iniesta firing the ball in the direction of Aspas. This is Costa. Ball sticking at the feet of Diego Costa, who should be the freshest player out there, of course. He's only played half a season as he set out the opening months after. Ball sticking at the feet of Diego Costa, who should be the freshest player out there, of course. He's only played half a season as he set out the opening months after his dispute with Chelsea. It's supposed to be a friendly game, but Costa's all fired up, and Lopetegui reminding him of his responsibilities.
Well, they've mixed it up well so far, haven't they? They've at times gone long from back to front. And of course, we know their ability in terms of quickness of passing and movement off the ball, and led to a couple of attempts at goal there.
David De Gea strolling off his line. Piqué to Thiago. Well, they've all tried a trick in the opening 5.5 minutes of the game, the Spain midfield players. Lopetegui has them excellently organised, but he does give them that freedom to be creative.
He's got no choice when you've got Iniesta and David Silva. They have to be creative, and of course it's good management to allow the creative side to flow through, and then work really hard defensively.
There's David Silva. Slightly panicked attempt at a clearance from Akanji.
They appear to have that hunger back, Rob, in terms of winning the ball back quickly, which was a trait of the successful Spain national team. won the World Cup and 2 European Championships. It was a real strength of the team. As they aged, it became more difficult for those players to continue to play that style of game. But what we saw in the qualifying groups and what we've seen in the friendlies recently is they appear to have that hunger, motivation and the ability to be able to win that ball back as quickly as possible.
Odriozola to Costa. Fired towards Aspas, chasing it, but strolling off his line is Jan Sommer, the Borussia Mönchengladbach goalkeeper. Here's Lichtsteiner. Forrest Gump they call him because he never stops running. That's offside. Brilliant save anyway by De Gea. Sevanovic had gone just a fraction early.
He didn't need to. He's looking across the line there. He's got no idea where Piqué is in terms of whether he's ahead of Gerard Piqué. Lichtsteiner will do that. So strengthen his game.
Well, Spain have been preparing this week at the FA headquarters in Madrid. It's all very exacting. They've been drilled as well into VAR and the idiosyncrasies by Mathieu Lahoz, one of the top officials in Spain. Shaqiri. It's a usual Spain national team game, dominating most of the possession, and Switzerland knew that was going to be the case. Of course, when these two countries met at the World Cup in 2010, it was a surprise defeat for Spain. Gerard Piqué is one of the players who remains from that game. Jordi Alba to David Silva. Well, back from Schär to Sommer, taking no risks. And we saw what happened to one of his union members at the Olympic Stadium last weekend in Kiev.
It does appear to be a 4-3-3, doesn't it? I say a loose 4-3-3. Aspas playing down the right flank. David Silva is the highest of the attacking midfield players. Pretty much on the left of Diego Costa, then midfield trio, Koke, Thiago and Iniesta.
And the thing about it, with the pure players, it's interchangeable as well.
Exactly, Silva and Iniesta have been swapping positions, and Aspas is being encouraged to go and play slightly infield. Likewise David Silva, and that will allow both fullbacks to push on, which is what they're both really good at. Odriozola, the youngster, in the right back position, Jordi Alba of course on the left back, so they give the attacking width.
There is Odriozola, who's the one shock inclusion in the 23-man squad. There are a few eyebrows raised at the omissions, but he was the only player I think nobody expected to be making the plane. It's a very large bench tonight. They've got 3 players, Vallejo, Rodri and Yeray, who are currently on the standby list. They've packed the training sessions with some of the younger players, the Spain players of the future, likes of Carlos Soler and Iñaki Williams have joined the training as well this week, just to give them a taste of the national team call-up. And there has been a flow, of course, from the youth teams to the under-21 teams to the senior team. Lopetegui, the coach, won the Euros in 2012 for the under-19s. And was in charge of the under-21s and the under-20s. And will be in charge of the senior team now to the year 2020, having just signed a new longer-term contract. Vladimir Petrovic in the opposite corner, who's done a remarkable job since replacing Ottmar Hitzfeld.
Go on, mate.
Silva. Koke. It's an excellent run from Iago Aspas, who squeezes a corner out of Akanji.
Yeah, I think the midfield players of Switzerland need some help. The likes of Berrami, Zakaria and Gemayli getting outnumbered by the Spanish counterparts in terms of possession as well. It's making it really hard. So need some help from Shaqiri and Zuba.
Oh, brilliant play between Silva and Iniesta. Back to Silva. They still won't go away. We know that Iniesta is heading for his autumn years in the J-League in Japan, but he has still been sensational in the colours of Barcelona this season, and of course for the Spain national team as well.
That's Piliqueta, who's trying to win the ball back quickly against Seferovic, and I think it was a foul and a challenge from behind, but he doesn't agree with me or agree with the referee, clearly.
Piliqueta was a regular, only missed one game for Chelsea this season. I suppose you could say he suffered more than most at Stamford Bridge, winning the cup final but missing out on the Champions League next season. Given the Real Madrid players starting tonight, there's only Lucas Vazquez on the bench. The Spain side tonight, the 11, is drawn from 8 different teams in 3 different leagues. There's Jordi Alba of Barcelona. Iniesta. Silva. Everything still goes through Iniesta, the central cog. Little layoff from Costa, which wasn't the best. Falls nicely to Iniesta. Good across and well towed away nervously by Rodriguez. Koke tried to thread it to the lively Aspas.
Switzerland find it really difficult to defend and then difficult to keep hold of the ball. It's only as Piliqueta who's given away a couple of fouls, but it shows the endeavour there that Spain are showing to win the ball back quickly again. It's a clear foul from Piliqueta on Gemayli.
There's a couple already, isn't it, by Piliqueta, who isn't looking completely comfortable in the central role alongside Piqué.
I think they're encouraged, aren't they, to go in, to push in as well. So when their team's got possession, they're very high up the pitch. They're in the attacking half. So when the ball does break out from Switzerland, if it isn't a great pass, I think the Spain central defenders are encouraged to try and win the ball back even high up the pitch.
There is Ricardo Rodriguez. That's a good run from deep, and well, just towed away nervously by Thiago. He was doing a good job as the holding midfield man. Jordi Alba landed heavily.
Of course, this is the biggest fear, isn't it, of all the international managers going into these preparation games for the World Cup. It almost falls kindly for Xherdan Shaqiri there on the edge of the box. Hefty collision, but Jordi Alba appears to be okay.
And the 2 players are Kanji and Fabian Sharp. They're the danger men here, the 2 tall central defenders. Seferovic as well. Smallest man on the field heads the ball away. David Silva. Lichtsteiner to Rodriguez. Rodriguez puts his might in, and De Gea wisely just sticks to his line. Ricardo Rodriguez could be playing for Spain if he wanted to. He was born in Zurich. His mum is Chilean, and his father is actually Spanish. But made a wise choice to play for Switzerland. It's his 52nd cap tonight, and he was the national hero after his penalty winner against Northern Ireland. Costa. Jordi Alba's having a ratty game on that left-hand side, isn't he?
Yeah, of course he doesn't have that advantage of having Lionel Messi playing in midfield and looking up and spraying the ball out to that position, but he'll take up identical positions, an identical role. And of course he will be hoping the likes of Iniesta and Silva in particular, Koke, will be able to find him with that switcher play.
Zakaria. It's a very loose ball. Lichtsteiner's not going to retrieve that. The captain being positive, trying to raise the game of those around him. Lichtsteiner's 99th cap tonight. Should get the 100 against Japan next week when they play their final game before heading to Russia. That's going to be in Lugano. Jordi Alba.
It's Berami, isn't it? It's time with the little tap on the ankles of Jordi Alba.
David Silva takes his time there to maybe come up with something inventive. You can see those the players line up. That there's only Piqué who is of a similar height to the several tall players in the Switzerland team. So it's low and hard, and it was Aspas who broke from the pack.
They are still willing, aren't they, to get the ball into the box direct from a set piece. Of course, no Sergio Ramos tonight, but he's always an asset when it comes to attacking free kicks and corners.
I suppose with Busquets as well, he's another one of the 6-foot players.
Costa is in there with Piqué tonight, isn't he, as well? So, but you're right, it's not a team that's built for. I would imagine they've spent too much time on concentrating on attacking set pieces. And I think at times they do prefer to take the short corner, quick free kicks in general.
Steiner to Shaqiri. He's trying to make things work. It's a great dart down the left-hand side from Rodriguez. And tidying up is Alvaro Odriozola, who knows the scrutiny is on him tonight with the Carvajal injury. One of the great surprise non-inclusions was that of Sergio Roberto, who has been excellent for Barcelona this season in the right-back position, but clearly is not to the full liking of Lopetegui.
It must be a concern regarding Dani Carvajal, because he only just got back fit, didn't he, in time for the Champions League final. He got injured again. Something that Lopetegui is clearly concerned about. Odriozola getting his chance tonight, but I agree with you. I think Sergio Roberto would be a versatile player to have in the squad. He's become a right back for Barcelona, but he's still a really good midfield player as well.
He does tend to try to promote players that he's had at the under-21 level, which worked with Rodrigo Moreno, who was a frequent scorer for the 21s, and he's jostling for the striker's position with Costa and Iago Aspas. And of course, Odriozola is another young player, only 22. Played at the Euros last year in the under-21 tournament.
I think that name that's been most prominent about replacing Carvajal, if he does miss it, is Marc Bartra of Real Betis.
Costa lays the ball down, or flashed across the face of goal. From David Silva, they're getting warmer.
Well, that's better from Diego Costa. That's what he has to provide, a focal point for the attack. Let the more skillful, more diminutive players around him be creative, and he's there to lend a hand. He does it really well there with a little knockdown to David Silva. Just drags his shot across the far post away from Jan Sommer.
It's old school centre forward play, that, wasn't it?
That's what they need. He doesn't need to get involved in the build-up. He's got enough players to do that, but he needs to be there as that focal point, the physical presence. Take the weight off the players like David Silva and Iago Aspas and Iniesta.
Well, it's a wonderful atmosphere created as they brought the national team to Castellón, home of Villarreal. First time they had an international here was 20 years ago. And Spain won that night by 9-0 against San Marino. There's Berami. Two of the greater characters in the two teams go shoulder to shoulder there.
I think Costa just knocks him over. Here he knocks the ball down, doesn't he, to David Silva. Always curling away from the goalkeeper, always curling away from the far post, but good movement off the ball from David Silva.
Kanji to Fabian Schär. Schär plays his football in Spain. Well, if he sees out his 4-year contract at Deportivo La Coruña, next season at least he's going to be in the Segunda after Depor were relegated. Piqué. Pilicueta. It's a lazy ball by Berami. Rodriguez. Berami again. Looking for Zakaria. Shaqiri quickens the pace. They haven't given up the chase though. Lichtsteiner, the skipper, flying down that right-hand side, hangs it in the air. Poor header from Piqué. And luckily for Spain, it's a poor shot from Shishmaili.
I think he chooses the correct technique in terms of keeping the ball down, gets his head over the ball and whacks it into the ground. It'll be flick on from Gerard Piqué. David De Gea, I think, always aware that on the bounce it was going to go over the crossbar. When Switzerland break through that initial closing down session that we see from Spain, if they can break through that initial press, then they'll find a little bit of space to take advantage of and getting some early crosses into the penalty area.
Costa. Iniesta. Odriozola. Iago Aspas. Iniesta. Alba. Silva. A strong challenge from Costa. He was billed as an international match and not a friendly game. He doesn't play friendly games, does he?
Well, that is his job as well, Rob. He's the first line of defences, and if they want to have this attitude where they win the ball quickly, we see Jamali with the attempt into the ground over the crossbar. Plenty of space for him, wasn't it, for the attacking midfield player? Unopposed at the far post.
Piqué, with ever available Andres Iniesta to David Silva. Thiago to Koke. Jordi Alba. Koke. Odriozola. Aspas. No, he favours it on his left foot. There he goes. To Iniesta. Oh, look at this from freedom. I'm not sure he quite meant that, Iniesta. Touch of the messes about that. Jordi Alba fires it at David Silva. Anywhere will do for Fabian Schär as Spain are increasing the heat.
You've got to have the first touch, haven't you? And if you're playing for Spain, the way that Jordi Alba fires that into David Silva, the way the passes are moved about quickly with real pace, sufficient enough that defenders can't cut out those passes.
Oh, this is freestyling football from Spain. Koke. Switzerland is struggling to get out of their final third of the field at the moment. Shaqiri. Lichtsteiner. Well, it's a warm, humid evening in Castellón, but it's almost 100% humidity now as it begins to rain inside the stadium, which will make the ball zip around that a little bit sharper. Seferovic. Excellent defending by Jordi Alba. Stylish defending by Jordi Alba.
His pace comes in handy there, doesn't it? When there was a quick attack from Switzerland, he was able to get across with excellent defensive work on the cover.
Koke. Aspas. Silva. Short and sharp with Iniesta. Back to David Silva. A suggestion of handball as Lichtsteiner went to ground. Shaqiri. Rodriguez. It's almost as if Switzerland can afford to breathe again.
I was rather surprised on that build-up there with Silva and Iniesta that Costa goes out to try and join in. Eventually, when they did have the chance to slide the ball across goal, he was not in the appropriate position. Just to reiterate, I think he can avoid getting involved in the build-up on too many occasions. Just needs to apply the finishing touch.
Piqué happy to just guide it out of play.
You see the cut back, a half-hearted appeal. You can see the position of Diego Costa, who's gone completely out of the goal-scoring position. The ball does strike the arm of the Swiss defender, but certainly not intentional.
Well, Costa came back to La Liga and he had an immediate impact scoring for Atletico Madrid, and of course getting sent off for celebrating scoring for Atletico Madrid. He's having to win his stripes with Spain. Odriozola is looking for Costa. Finds David Silva. Lichtsteiner. Silva hooks it in. Odriozola! Well, the youngster, who was a little uncertain of his place in the national team, may well have earned his place in the starting 11 with a sensational goal like that, and only his third cap.
And I talked about Costa getting into a goal-scoring position. This is a right back. The minute that ball deflects up in the air into his path, we all know exactly what's going to happen. He has no other choice but to hit it on the volley. It's invitingly sitting up for him. And he trusts his technique. Slightly hits across it with the outside of the boot. You can see full concentration. Uses Diego Costa as almost as a shield away from the goalkeeper Sommer, and it just goes into that far post. A tough start for Switzerland, but eventually Spain do get the opening goal.
Well, with Dani Carvajal a little doubtful with injury, Odriozola has moved up the pecking order from maybe somebody who was heading to Russia to get experience, tournament experience for future years. But he's proven that he can do it against the best. And as we mentioned at the start of the game, Switzerland are, at least in the ratings by FIFA, the 6th best team in the world at the moment. But a brilliantly taken goal.
He fits the profile, doesn't he, for a team that play in the way that Spain do, with the way that Dani Carvajal pushes forward. We've seen Odriozola do it for the last couple of seasons now for Real Sociedad. At times it's brought him to the attention of Real Madrid. There's been speculation that they're in the market to look to purchase him. He is what he is, a hard-working, fit, very fast, energetic fullback that really enjoys pushing forward, and shown there with his technique. He's got the skill required to play at this level as well.
Well, there's the possession statistics, 70-30 for Spain. And you had to do well to score against Switzerland. It was the first goal they've conceded in 422 minutes.
This is ideal preparation, isn't it, for their first game against Brazil? You imagine it will be a very similar game. So to play Spain in a friendly, preparing for the World Cup. When they play Brazil, this will be exactly how they play. This will be a good preparation for their game plan for the opening game.
Well, Spain, of course, their final preparation game is against Tunisia. And Lopetegui was saying in the build-up to the match what they want to do is get used to different approaches, different formations as they head to the great global tournament. Well, know what to expect from Portugal in Group B. Maybe not so much Iran. You'll be aware of Morocco from just across the water as well. Lopetegui. Alba. Now PK. Okay. PK. Thiago. Iniesta. Silva. Fires it, Silva. Iniesta. Aspas fails with the layoff. Aspas. That's the second time he's gone down, and the referee has not been convinced on either occasion. Lichtsteiner. Shaqiri. Cleverly cut back. Oh, it's a decent cross as well. Shaqiri carving open the Spain defence there. It was Lichtsteiner, who has been linked with Arsenal. And then you look at his age and say he's 34 years of age, but that's only the birth certificate because he has the legs of a 24-year-old, doesn't he?
Well, not only that, he's had his work cut out, hasn't he, defending against Jordi Alba and David Silva on that side, but he has been the biggest threat for Switzerland in terms of attacking play as well.
The fourth most capped Switzerland international ever. He's 5 off Chapuisat, so he should catch him up in the World Cup finals. And who knows, might be part of the Arsenal revolution.
You see him on the overlap there. Well timed pass from Shaqiri. Is that really the right type of delivery across the 6-yard box? And Gemelli, who was on the end of that earlier cross, but the far post wasn't in the same position this time. Partnership between Iniesta and Silva is key for Spain, isn't it? It's two world-class players, but they're on the same wavelength. So they each understand it, even without looking at each other, talking to each other, communicating with each other. If one of them gets the ball, he's aware of where his teammate will be. They link up. It's beautiful to watch.
Well, they are so blessed with midfield players. Cesc Fabregas doesn't even make the squad, neither Illumendi, who was impressive in the qualifiers. And of course, Saul Niguez, who was the standout player for Spain at the under-21 finals last year, is merely in reserve on the bench. You're going to get time though. Iniesta isn't not a 90-minute man this season. He only went 90 minutes 3 times with Barcelona in La Liga. But that is the beauty of the Spain squad. They don't rely heavily on one single player. Everybody is replaceable, and there's a replacement in virtually every position. As we found out in the right-back role tonight with the eye-catching Odriozola.
We haven't seen him defend yet. That's the type of player he is. He's all action and purpose, getting forward. Switzerland's best attacks have come down the side of Jordi Alba when he's pushed forward, and Spain are left a few players in the defensive half of the pitch.
Okay, draws breath, hangs it in the air. Silva, Koke, Thiago. What does Iniesta see? He sees 2 at the far post, but doesn't find them. Switzerland are having to defend to their absolute maximum here. to withstand an onslaught from Spain. There's a foul this time on Ballon Berami.
This time it's Iniesta with the closing down, Berami going down, and appeared to be slightly irritated until he saw it was Iniesta who was pulling him up and apologising. He thought it was Diego Costa again, I believe.
Well, that's the respect that Iniesta has amongst his peers. Zakaria. Akanji to Rodriguez. Zuber giving them width, but that's him. Any opportunity for him to display his array of talent yet. Berami. Switzerland are the kind of country who regularly qualify, always the underdogs. Well, they have been at 7 of the last 8 major tournaments. The only one they've missed out on is the Euros in 2012.
I think there was a programme put in place a long while ago now where they concentrated on producing really good young players, and they've had a successful period over the last decade or so in the younger tournaments.
Oh, there's a strong aftershock there. The referee hasn't shown the card yet, and they're trying to play in good spirit. Lichtsteiner. Yeah, he did catch him. I don't think it was intentional. There's certainly a foul. The apology was accepted by Peliqueta.
But the intent from Lichtsteiner was to win the ball back quickly rather than run 80 yards back towards his own goal. So you can understand he wanted to put his foot in and try and win the ball back. There was nothing nasty about the challenge, was there? And a bit of an edge to the game. That's going to be natural because Switzerland are chasing the ball about.
Thiago. Iniesta. Now Silva. Aspas, who switched wings with success, squeezes a corner out of Switzerland.
The two centre-backs, Kanji and Fabian Schär, really working hard, aren't they? They've got players attacking them from all angles. Aspas now swapping sides, going to the left side of attack. Got their hands full alone with Diego Costa.
Well, it's quite a storm inside the stadium now. It's Peliqueta heading right under the goalkeeper's gloves. It's towards Costa. Well, he got the freedom between the two central defenders there. He'll be mulling over how he felt he may have finished it better.
Yeah, maybe the excuse is that he doesn't see it till late, as he thinks the PK might get there. He's almost going over the head of Gerard Piqué, over the head of Fabian Schär, and he's just nudged, isn't he, in his attempt when he goes full length with a diving header.
Odriozola sees the gap and just goes for it. Nerves? I don't think he has any. Back to Iniesta. A simple save for Sommer.
Full concentration there from Iniesta on his left foot. He just needed to start it out wider, didn't he? And I think the goalkeeper guessed correctly.
9 shots to 2. As we're into the final 4 minutes now of the first half. Rodriguez. Zuba. He's got nothing at all out of Koke on this right-hand side. Saul going through some limbering exercises. I think it'd be a lot closer to the strongest Switzerland 11. This would be the 11 if Granit Xhaka doesn't make it. For the opening game, the way things are at the moment. And of course, Spain have the Real Madrid players to call on, and Busquets as well, who's missing through illness tonight. Comfortable keeping from De Gea. Sets Silva on his way.
Saul and Rodrigo there appeared as if they were two players getting ready to take part at the start of the second half, didn't they? They're starting their warm-up just before half-time. Understandable, of course, that both managers will make changes.
Well, the two players who haven't caught the eye so far for Spain are the two that are jostling for the striker's position, Aspas and Costa. Is it a case of them both trying too hard?
Yeah, I think they're perhaps encroaching into each other's territory. Aspas there, I've known from watching him regularly in La Liga over the seasons that he's an edge to his game, doesn't he, despite being a friendly.
Iniesta to Silva. Thiago. Odriozola. Catch them if you can. Thiago squirms away. Fires into the spare man Jordi Alba. Alba across the face of goal. It hits the rear of Costa. Well, the experiment of Costa and Aspas together hasn't worked so far. One would imagine we're going to see that man in the second half, Rodrigo Moreno. 4 caps, 2 goals. They've all got good striking rates, though, all 3 of the central strikers for the national team.
Morata has a decent rate as well. Paco Alcácer had a spell where he was the first choice for the national team.
Oh, brilliant from Iniesta. Well, he weaved and left the defenders for dead. Unfortunately for Switzerland, Jan Sommer guarded his post.
He's playing in a really advanced position, isn't he? Another attempt on goal from Iniesta.
Koke. Jordi Alba. Odriozola. Oh, lovely layoff from Iniesta, who may have been blocked when he was trying to get there. Well, Piqué. Generally, that would be a yellow card. The referee being sensible. He does realise that there was no great intent from Gerard Piqué. He gives him a stern lecture. Look at that from Andres Iniesta. Well, underlines how dominant Spain have been in the first half. A multitude of chances. Only the one has whisked past the keeper. The goal from Odriozola after 29 minutes. The half-time scoreline at La Ceramica is Spain 1, Switzerland 0.
At Expedia, you can book your flight, hotel, car hire and activities all in one place. Expedia, ATOL protected.
We are connected to some of the most advanced technology the world has ever seen. We can choose from over 100,000 live sports events every year. Just like that. We are members of the world's favourite online sports betting company. And we gamble responsibly at Bet365.
Vision Express understands we're inspired by what we see.
We love to boogie. We love to boogie.
Watching people helps me create my characters. When you treasure everything you see, you never want to stop looking. Look after your eyes and your vision can last a lifetime. Vision Express. Vision taken seriously.
Made with ancient magic.
No, made with bacteria proven to reach the gut alive. Yakult, a little bottle of science, not magic.
Magic.
Stop it.
Some of them are alas. Ball, some are ball wild, some of them are alas. Ball, some are ball.
You get dirty.
Some of them are alas. Some are ball wild, some are
You get clean.
some are.
You gold. Get clean and smell great with new Lynx Gold Body Wash.
The $12.99 Papa's Meal Deal presents 12.99 seconds of better play. The $12.99 Papa's Meal Deal. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's.
Great savings on selected Spring Collection sofas end Monday. The Carrara is just £499, but not for long. DFS.
The new Huawei P20 Pro is the world's first triple-lens smartphone with AI assistance. Photography will never be the same. The Huawei P20 Pro.
When your old stone or wood patio is past the point of repair, replace it with Trex composite decking. Trex decking resists mold and mildew. It is built to withstand warping, rotting, and splintering. It also comes in a range of colors. Bring lasting beauty and durability to your garden by making sure your next deck is built with Trex. Visit trex.com/UK for more information on where to buy.
There's one thing we all have in common. We love our hair. So if we start losing it, we're going to do something about it.
Hi, welcome to the Belgravia Centre.
Contact us for a free consultation or go online. Hair loss? Belgravia Centre.
At Vision Express, you can now get 2 for 1 on designer glasses. Vision Express. Vision taken seriously.
You press the allow and now we'll see if you're alleged which one you be. But in return we get to know a lot. We're collecting all your info and we're sharing everything so strangers know about the rash you got. Enjoy yourself but check your settings to make sure that you're not letting stuff be shared you'd really rather not.
Visit Barclays to discover ways that you can take control of your personal data.
By the way, you're an onion.
Who's got the vision to be the new master of photography? Tuesday at 8 on Sky Arts. And if you've missed the start of Master of Photography, episode 1 is available on Catch Up.
Well, half-time at La Ceramica, and it's been total dominance in the first half from Spain. They've had 2/3 of the possession, 5 goal attempts compared to 1 by Switzerland. It's been a meaty game, despite it being billed as a friendly match, and both will be very happy with the opposition they've had so far. Well, it's a weakened Spain team because they don't include any of the players from Real Madrid. One would argue that it would be the Switzerland side that kicks off the World Cup finals, unless, of course, Granit Xhaka returns from injury, and it was full steam ahead from Spain in the opening minutes of the game. The midfield has been brilliant. Koke was blocked on that occasion, and Thiago had his shot deflected, which made the save from Jan Sommer all the more impressive.
Well, it's really impressive attacking play from Spain, also defensively from Switzerland. Prepared to throw himself in the way to get the block. Zakaria with the first block. Deflection off of Behrami, an excellent save from Sommer, but outstanding attacking play from Spain.
Well, this is the sole attempt from Switzerland, and Seferovic was just offside.
Just over enthusiastic with his run forward. It's a close call, but he's ahead of Piqué.
Well, Spain have included Costa and Aspas from the start. This was Costa's best moment when he played target man and laid it into the path. The old smash and grab routine, Costa and Silva.
David Silva has been really prominent in the first 45 minutes of the game. Good movement off the ball, good little knockdown from Diego Costa, and David Silva, with his ability, would be slightly disappointed he at least hasn't forced Sommer into making a save.
Well, there are several changes in the Spain defence. Piqué's missed Ramos alongside him, and that was the one slip, and it was a slip of a shot from Gemaile as well.
The closest I think we've came to seeing De Gea make a genuine save, but the ball does go into the ground from Gemaile over the crossbar, and Spain continue to dominate possession, to continue to pour forward.
The surprise inclusion has been Odriozola, who started this move on the right-hand side. He's a very attacking fullback. He's in because Carl Verhaal is not available tonight, and he marked his third cap with a brilliantly taken goal.
Well, we've seen him over the last couple of seasons playing for Real Sociedad, see him as a real genuine attacking threat, and I actually expected him to score when the ball falls to him from the pass from David Silva. I knew he had the technique, knew he had the skill. It's a full-length attempt from someone to make the save, but he has sufficient power to beat the goalkeeper.
Well, there has been chance after chance for Spain. That was the best moment for Costa. He squirmed free of the two defenders. Didn't make the most of it.
He gets away from the defender, Akanji, quite easily, and perhaps should do better with a full-length diving header attempt.
Well, here's the young and the old. The 22-year-old Odriozola, the new man, and the old-timer Andres Iniesta, who's on that farewell trail. He had two chances in the last few minutes of the first half.
Yeah, this one's with his left foot. Eventually he does get another opportunity. Classic Iniesta, isn't it? In the build-up, drifting past defenders. A really good attempt towards the near post, and a good save from Sommer, just to keep the scoreline to just the one goal deficit for Switzerland.
Well, it has been an excellent first half for Spain, and Odriozola has answered the questions raised by the manager. Is he good enough? You can see that he is.
Citroen C4 Cactus, featuring suspension with progressive hydraulic cushions by Citroen, because your life is hectic enough.
Citroen. Great savings on selected spring collection sofas end Monday. The Murano Corner is just £999, but not for long. DFS.
Greetings! I have flown many miles to talk to you today about this.
Because with just one goal shot, any of you fine specimen can and will
change the world! Here we go! Guy with the big hands. I'm backing you to score first.
Don't bet silly. Bet savvy.
Play Coral Million for free this summer. Answer 10 questions, watch the World Cup, and you could win £1 million. The smart money's on Coral.
You press the allow and now we'll see if you're a veg, which one you be. But in return we get to know a lot. We're collecting all your info and we're sharing everything, so strangers know about the rash you got. Enjoy yourself, but check your settings to make sure that you're not letting stuff be shared you'd really rather not.
Visit Barclays to discover ways that you can take control of your personal data.
By the way, you're an onion.
The $12.99 Papa's Meal Deal presents 12.99 seconds of better play. The $12.99 Papa's Meal Deal. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's.
Are you totally ready? New Colgate Total Clean Breath contains odour neutraliser complex that fights bad breath bacteria. So you're totally ready for life.
Did you get into my makeup? Yes. Just a little bit?
Oof.
Show me.
Imagine if that was our Daisy.
You know what? She is a bit quiet.
Alexa, show me the kids' room camera. Oh, look at her, isn't she cute?
Oh, great. You can have her tomorrow then.
All right, I'll take her to the cup final with the lads.
Good luck with that.
Be fine.
You reckon?
Yeah.
Mira's mum and dad got a smart meter, so every year they could save enough energy to keep her favourite song playing on repeat. Every night, all night, until she's 36. Save your energy for sleeping. Get a smart meter.
At B&Q, we're dropping prices throughout the year. With new lower prices, you can do it when you're B&Q it.
I never thought I'd miss you half as much as I do. Soon as I wake up, every night, every day, I know that it's you I need to take my blues away.
Every moment of every day we help you be there. BT, be there.
Bounce back in South Africa, live on Sky Sports.
Can Hamilton keep hold of his lead, or will there be another twist as we head to the Heineken Canadian Grand Prix, live on Sky Sports F1?
Well, it's been a goal of quality from Odriozola, which is the difference between the two sides at the Estadio La Ceramica. A young man who has earned his call to the senior side and won't look out of place at the World Cup finals if required. A reminder what we've got available for you on Sky Sports tonight. On Sky Sports Golf at the moment is the final evening of the thrilling Women's US Open. Looking ahead next week, you could meet the England squad. The coverage on Sky Sports News comes live from St George's Park from 3 o'clock on Tuesday afternoon. Well, here at La Ceramica, it looks as though Spain are going to resist changes at half-time. Terry's just making notes at the moment. It looks like Giroud is coming on there, the former Arsenal central defender, and Josip Drmic as well. And Iago Aspas has been replaced by Lucas Vazquez, which isn't just a change of players, it's a change of formation as well. And Costa stays out there. At some point, I am sure that we're going to be seeing Rodrigo. With just the one change at half-time, we believe, from Lopetegui, coach of Spain. His squad is slightly more stretched without the Real Madrid players available to him. Giroud comes in there and also introduced is Bril Embolo as Costa tries to get through there, and it's a brave dash off the line from Jan Sommer. If you're a player, Terry, you'll be wondering what the manager is thinking. Taking me off, has he seen enough? And Costa staying on, does he have to do more? All of those thoughts will be going through their heads.
I think Iago Aspas in particular had an outstanding season for Celta Vigo.
Shaqiri A lively start to the second half from the rejigged Switzerland team.
I think Aspas will just be pleased that he's made the squad. Certainly when he does get an opportunity, he might be the type of player that does make more of an impact from the bench as opposed to starting in the 11. And of course, like to Isco to come back in, Ramos, Busquets, Asensio, of course. Lucas Vázquez taking his part in the second half as well. Asensio and Sal there. The future doesn't look too bad for Spain either, does it? You see the quality of the younger players coming on. So you're the best in Europe there, youngsters in Saul and Marco Asensio.
Well, two players would walk into almost any other national team in Europe. And they're thinking of the future when they have Vallejo, Rodri and Giray, who are not in the World Cup party, but they've been invited to train with the seniors and get themselves ready for maybe a couple of years' time in the next Euros. Or maybe for the forthcoming Nations League. The new Nations League, which starts in September. Spain have got England, of course, in that fledgling tournament, and Croatia. Oh dear, wasn't pulling out of that one, and he catches Lichtsteiner. This is concerning for Spain when Andres Iniesta is down.
That's all right here if we see any reason. It's just knee against knee, isn't it? And the challenge from Briel Embolo. It's not certainly a nasty one, isn't it? Kneecap against kneecap, you would imagine. Hopefully for Iniesta and Spain there's no twist. Just an impact injury.
Freak connection between the two, and he will limp on. He gets a standing ovation wherever he goes, Andres Iniesta, and even in Madrid.
And a collective huge sigh of relief as well, wasn't there? And we've seen him walking off, and
a nation is sighing relief. Concentration allows Thiago onto the ball. It's poor pass by the Bayern Munich midfield player. Embolo to Rodriguez. Peliquata. Alba to Iniesta. Piqué. Odriozola to Koke. And Thiago to Busquets. Jordi Alba. Silva to Peliquata. Spain just making Switzerland chase around this field. There's Odriozola. Rodriguez checks him, but he still gets the cross in. Silva cuts it back. Costa can't get there. Koke steadies himself. Spain starting the second half as strongly as they finished the first. Oh, Costa's onto it very quickly. A slip in the Switzerland defence, but it was Lucas Vázquez who got in the way. They're just happy at the moment, Switzerland, to escape their own half. Gavranovic. There's Jordi Alba. To Silva. Costa. There's a check. He is offside.
He was unlucky earlier, wasn't he, Diego Costa? It looked like he'd had the touch to set himself up for the shot. You can see he just strays into the offside position. He was denied by Vasquez, inadvertently getting involved in the build-up. Odriozola again getting to the byline, getting across towards the far post, and David Silva backing up the play. Here we see Costa, he's going to shoot. Just knocks it into the back of Lucas Vasquez.
Silva to Costa. Layoff. Oh, to Andres Iniesta, who's inching closer. That's his third very good attempt of the game.
Well, it's a completely different role than what he's had at Barcelona this season, where he's predominantly been playing left of a 4-4-2, and he's been playing out wider in a midfield position. But for Spain, particularly this evening, he's involved in the centre of play, he's involved in all the build-up, and he's getting himself frequently around the edge of the box for any snapshots at goal.
Iniesta. Well, they're desperately trying to feed Diego Costa. Sal getting instructions from the backroom team for the next introduction for Spain. The Atletico Madrid midfield player. Vastly experienced, though still, of course, only 23 years of age.
Again, another example, Azpilicueta winning the ball, trying to win the ball high up the pitch, but giving away the foul. 20 yards inside the attacking half, Azpilicueta there, the central defender for Spain.
Sommer. Jordi Alba. It's a great ball to Vasquez. Neat feet from the Spain substitute. He's the sole representative of Real Madrid tonight. Of course, the reason being he didn't participate in the Champions League final last weekend. David Silva. To Thiago. Slice of foot, wasn't it? Magical. Iniesta to Silva. Rami knew what was coming there and had the ability to stop Andres Iniesta. It's the last time they'll see Andres Iniesta in a Spain shirt on Spanish soil. It's been an emotional few weeks as he's said farewell to various parts of the country. And it's adios to the national team, on home soil at least, at La Ceramica. But they keep him fit and fresh, and we've seen that he's in fantastic form as well for the World Cup finals.
Yep, Lopetegui will be pleased that if he wasn't thinking of taking him off when he got that bang on the knee, he was probably a little bit concerned, so I'm not surprised to see Iniesta replaced.
And it's a call for Sorn or Sal.
Nearly works well.
Well, Barcelona were happy to get 60-65 minutes out of him every week. It was clever management this season by Valverde, his club coach. Contrast to Luis Enrique, used to play him in alternate matches. Valverde's system was a lot more productive. This Iniesta led them to the double, of course, their 8th double.
It's a great experience for the younger players in the Spain squad, isn't it? The ones that are not going to be going to the World Cup, the likes of Jesus Vallejo, Rodrigo Hernandez, Joao Alvarez, we saw there. And the chance to mix in, the last opportunity to mix alongside Iniesta. To take advantage of playing alongside and training alongside the likes of David Silva as well. Ramos, Busquets, Alba, the winners and the Real Madrid players have been involved in winning Champions Leagues. It's a
His corner, headed away by Mbolo. Thiago. Joubert. Well, it's his first tackle of the game, Sal, and the apology doesn't appear to be accepted by Xherdan Shaqiri.
Well, they have put their foot in, haven't they, Spain, tonight? There's been a number of really heavy challenges that have annoyed. I have to say, if I'm being honest, I think I would be annoyed if I was Shaqiri with a challenge like that just a week or so before the start of the World Cup. Friendly or not, that fully deserved the yellow card that Sal picked up.
You would have to do something pretty nasty to get a yellow card this evening, and that could be classed as nasty from Sal.
Change of position for Shaqiri as well. I think he's taken up the role that was occupied by Gemayli in the first half, the central attacking midfield player. Mbolo has gone wide. Grimic has gone and taken the place of Seferovic up front. Still the same shape, same system, but slightly different role for Shaqiri.
Well, the next number to be illuminated will be number 20 for Spain. Will be an introduction for Marco Asensio. Played more games for Real Madrid this season than any other, 53 matches. One of the unlucky ones that didn't start the Champions League last week. Gareth Bale was just ahead of him in the pecking order. We know what happened. Piqué. Darami to Shaqiri. Any loose control, and Spain are onto it in a flash. Piqué. Sal. Thiago. Sal again, who last summer scored a hat-trick against Italy at the under-21 finals. Odriozola. Vasquez. Odriozola cuts it across. Oh, well, Costa missed the ball. Maybe he got a call from Jordi Alba. Let's give him the benefit of the doubt. Doing his best Gareth Bale impression.
Yeah, I think there's a slight touch from the defender. Why they're having the laugh between the pair. I think Lichtsteiner just gets a little deflection on it as Costa. You can see just a touch there. Both players saw the funny side of him.
Well, a double change will also be some valuable time for Rodrigo Moreno. The former Chelsea centre-forward, Diego Costa, is replaced by Rodrigo, who did have a spell at Bolton Wanderers back in the 2010-2011 season. That was part of his learning curve. Last season, the leading scorer for Valencia with 19 goals. And David Silva, another one of the midfield diamonds who will be protected when they delve into the youth. 22-year-old Marco Asensio comes on. The thing is with Spain, when they make a change, it doesn't necessarily weaken them, does it? It energises them.
Brings the average age down. But the quality is still there. And likewise, wrapping Iniesta up in Cotmore, and likewise David Silva as well.
Azpilicueta. Played back. Kanji to his goalkeeper. Kanji just nipped ahead of Giroud in the picking order for the Switzerland national team at the moment. Giroud in the senior years of his career. You'll remember him from Arsenal. He had 10 years at Arsenal. Season on loan at Birmingham City as well in the Premier League. Here's Lichtsteiner, who is tipped to be in the Premier League next season at Arsenal. He's had a remarkable career at Juventus, did the double last year, 7 league titles in Serie A. This is Bette, it's on Bola, passes on to Lichtsteiner. Oh, De Gea doesn't get there, and that's a rare slip from David De Gea, and Switzerland are straight back in it. Well, it's Ricardo Rodriguez who was on hand, the man who scored the penalty winner against Northern Ireland. Right place, right time again.
Well, it's a bizarre goal because it is so unexpected, isn't it, to see David De Gea with a shot like that slip through his hands. It was good attacking play from Switzerland. They did enjoy the little spell of possession, find the spare play, Lichtsteiner, but it's no more than a back pass, really, from Lichtsteiner. But De Gea should be saving. Ghana moves the ball on quickly. His weaker foot. Lichtsteiner takes on the attempt. He gets away from David De Gea. Doesn't get away from the fullback. Adventurous play from Switzerland, and they get their reward.
Well, Barami is given a break, and on comes Michael Lang in midfield, and it's an introduction as well for Gedson Fernandes, who actually scored the winning goal against Spain in the World Cup finals back in 2010. The two countries met in Durban. And Lichtsteiner's last action is getting an assist, a left-footed shot that had no sting in it whatsoever. And I can't recall David De Gea ever making a mistake like that before.
It's been a very, very long time. Just wonder whether the lack of pace deceived him from Lichtsteiner, because it was a tame attempt, wasn't it?
Well, the goalkeepers union would argue it's better to get the mistakes out here when it doesn't matter, rather than when they get to Russia, and it can be so costly. And the eyes of the world are burning into a goalkeeper's gloves.
It's not out of his reach, is it? It's a comfortable reach for David De Gea, just maybe a lack of concentration. It's probably the first save of the game he's been forced into. By his standards, it should be a routine save.
Well, in some ways, Lopetegui, the coach, would welcome that they make a mistake. He has something to draw a negative on, to prove that this Spain team are human. In the qualifiers, they only conceded 3 goals. Asensio, the substitute, fires it across. It just took a slight nick and away from Lucas Vázquez. Vázquez cross. Better defending from Switzerland. A complete air shot from Jordi Alba. Now Asensio. He is a top star, just waiting to happen, Marco Asensio. Vázquez, brilliant control from the Real Madrid man. Vázquez cross. Decent header away from Akanji. Thiago. Alba. Guilherme Bola is stopped by Asensio. It's been a high velocity game. These players have been caged up for a couple of weeks, isn't it?
Well, Spain have now got the motivation. Switzerland have got the equaliser. It's been a decent performance from Switzerland. The start of the second half, they struggled early on, the first 5 minutes or so. The new partnership in the centre of defence with Akanji and Giroud. There was a little bit of space there that Diego Costa on 1 or 2 occasions almost took advantage of, but they have tightened up. Their best spell of possession saw them get the equaliser. Spain now look fired up to try and make sure they get the next goal and make sure they get the win. As we've seen over the recent seasons, Switzerland are not an easy team to break down.
Well, they have earned that FIFA ranking. Odriozola on the outside, offside.
It's important for both coaches, isn't it, to balance out the playing time, and they will know, the sports scientists involved, who needs what, and who needs a rest, who needs more minutes on the field. It's natural that lots of changes are made by both managers. And at the same time, making sure that they have some sort of preparation to be ready to go, match sharp, match fit, the opening games of their campaigns.
Well, here is Piqué. He looked fatigued about March, didn't he? He seemed to hobble for every game that Barcelona completed at the end of the season. I don't think they're going to take him off because there's no Ramos this evening, and the only couple really is Nacho at centre-back.
He's got a problem.
Is that self-medicating from Ricardo Rodriguez?
They can't take any risks, can't they? And the player obviously is aware that there might be an issue.
So if you have any niggle in a game like this, you want to report it. You want to be fully fit. He wants to be in the team against Brazil in Rostov on the 17th of June, the opening for Switzerland. Well, the next two to come on will be Nacho. He needs explaining because he'll play any one of the back four positions, can't he?
That's the benefit of having Piliqueta and Nacho in the squad, isn't it? That they can do similar roles and do them well. He's playing in the full-back position, either side of the pitch or the centre of defence.
The ball's fired at Sommer there. His defence really pinning him back to his own goal line. Got away with it though. He's the one goalkeeper on the field who's allowed to smile after David De Gea's desperate mistake.
Ricardo Rodriguez appears to be okay now, doesn't he?
Alba. Asensio. Sao. Waiting patiently, Nacho Monreal. Real Madrid Nacho, who will come on. Lopetegui explaining the changes to his players. Odriozola has had a wonderful impact. And Carvajal does have competition for that right-back spot now from a new name. He's had it over the years from Sergio Roberto. And now he's got it from Odriozola, who scored that Spain goal after 29 minutes. Nacho will come on to the right-hand side of defence. Monreal. They actually sent Monreal on.
I certainly think that Odriozola is in pole position now, Rob, to start the first game. What a game against Portugal. Carvajal did miss, as we said earlier, 3 or 4 weeks before the Champions League final. So there would have been a lack of playing time, and there won't be 100% certain if he does travel. He's going to be fully fit by the time of the first game. But certainly they will be hoping, if they progress as we expect them to in the tournament, then Carvajal will get fitter, stronger. Odriozola certainly left his imprint on the game tonight, hasn't he? I'm sure Lopetegui knows exactly what he can and can't do, but his performance tonight will give him added confidence that he can cope at playing at this level.
Well, it is a fine mixture of youth and experience. likes of Gerard Piqué and Ramos, 30-something players, Iniesta, the senior member of the squad. But then we've had Odriozola, 22, and Alonso, 22 years of age as well. Mentioned before, Saul, despite his vast experience, he's still only 23. So there's a perfect balance that Lopetegui has available to him. One of the problems of the last Euros is that there were one or two slightly past maybe their useful date for the national team. Asensio. Oh, that's a brilliant ball and an excellent run from Rodrigo. He had the pace and the energy to get there,
and then needing to slow down a touch. He was away from the defender. Looks as if he had reached the ball comfortably. An outstanding pass though from Asensio. Good spot. Just gets away from on his first touch, Rodrigo. Certainly a game to look forward to, isn't it? The first game for Spain against Portugal. Ramos against Ronaldo.
Jordi Alba. They both will come onto a puff of green smoke, won't they? Ramos and Ronaldo. Lucas Vázquez.
You can see there's the initial foul. Asensio tries to get on with it. Maybe not the second one, but I think Asensio imagines that the ball would be brought back and the free kick given to Spain, but it wasn't. As usual, when teams make this amount of substitutions, the game has become a little ragged, hasn't it? Lost its shape. Switzerland showing really good determination to try and hold on to what would be an impressive result, getting a draw away from home against Spain.
Vázquez. Now Thiago. Asensio. Sommer. Blocked in the way, and it's a relative safety though. Koke's cross. By Kanji. Thiago. Nacho. Rodrigo got just ahead of it, falls to Asensio. Let's be careful how they handle him.
It's quite ironic, isn't it, that Diego Costa has gone off, but there's now more crosses than there have been in the entire game.
Saul can't get the cross in.
Asensio in particular has that ability, doesn't he, just to shift it on his feet, whip across in behind the defender. He's been competitive, played in good spirits.
Grimace from David Silva. Lopetegui just checking on his welfare. He won't want to leave any. Out there.
Spain have had plenty of the ball, clear-cut chances have been few and far between from created by Spain despite dominating possession.
Koke. Saul. Asensio to Alba. Excellent from Asensio, draws a pause from Lasenenaga. They've made adjustments, but they're finding their feet and finding the flow against Spain.
You kind of feel with the talent that Asensio has, with the age he is now at 22, there has to be a position regularly now in the starting lineup at Real Madrid. It's not going to be easy for whoever is the manager.
Somebody else's problem now, isn't it? Not Zinedine Zidane. Well, they will make a change of piece here. Coming on for Switzerland will be Francois Ubanje, who's a left back, and for Spain it will be Azpilicueta, the player who's going off. Natural change is Ricardo Rodriguez. He scored the equalising goal against the nation of his father's birth. Shows what happens when you've got strong fullbacks. The assist from the right back and the goal from the left back.
And Odriozola scoring as well for Spain. So the right backs, the fullbacks having a real big influence in this game.
Jordi Alba didn't look too kindly to being replaced there by Azpilicueta. Got Nacho Monreal, of course, isn't it, so?
Going back over the years there, Rob, aren't you, to the Osasuna partnership that long time ago.
It was somewhere in the subconscious, yeah. Of course, so. Thank you very much.
Cohesion isn't there from Spain, as you'd expect, and a number of changes that they've made, but they're not going in unity to try and win the ball back quickly. They're doing it as individuals, but look at the individual piece of skill there from Asensio.
As you've seen, Switzerland, not a flamboyant team, but not a team that should be underestimated at the World Cup finals. Recent form, last 20 games, have won 15. Only 2 defeats in the last 20. Against Portugal, the final World Cup qualifier, and against Poland on penalties in the Euros.
Now, it's testimony, isn't it, to the fantastic job that Vladimir Petkovic has done. A really well coached, well drilled, well organised team that have sufficient ability with individuals that can create chances, take the few chances, one of the few chances that do come their way. Slightly fortunate tonight, of course, with a mistake from De Gea.
So, Thiago, Koke, Vasquez, Koke, Rodrigo to Asensio. They stay strong and well organised. Switzerland interchangeable. It's Michael Lang there who's come on the right hand side of defence. Scored for Basel in that win against Manchester City in March. Azpilicueta. Okay, his role has changed since Lopetegui made the match changes. PK. Saul. Vasquez. Hits the rear of Nacho. One thing's for certain, Vasquez isn't going to be taken in the right-back position, is he? After the experiment failed spectacularly when he was chanced there by Zidane at Real Madrid. Mubanje, the substitute, puts in the cross. It's Azpilicueta's clearance. Piqué.
Look at the nature of the squad that Lopetegui has gone with. And maybe you look at the striking positions where there's only the 3 options. You do see the versatile players that are available in terms of the defenders at the back in Azpilicueta, Monreal, Nacho. I just wonder whether he could have at least taken one more striker.
There's Vasquez. Oh, brilliant by Vasquez to Rodrigo. An excellent save from Sommer after a sensational move. Freestyling move from Spain. There's rain in the air. Is there a goal in the air? 14 shots to 5. It's been raining shots. Just the 1 goal for Spain though from Odriozola back in the 29th minute. Azpilicueta. Thiago. Azpilicueta. It's Lang who blocks it. Owen Polo.
You're not having a chance to get out there, are they, Switzerland? And hopefully hooking the ball forward, hoping that Drmic can get hold of it. Shaqiri can then join up to form some sort of counter-attack, but the shape is good. They're not looking to be too expansive. They're holding on to try and get the draw with Spain.
But they're not embarrassed by relying on their defence. They have 5 clean sheets in the qualifiers, and when you take into account the friendly games they have as well, they actually had 6 shutouts in a row until Hungary scored a couple against them. In fact, in their opening World Cup qualifier against Portugal, they won 2-0 as well. They've so far restricted Spain to just a sole goal. Rodrigo. It's a poor pass by Thiago. And Switzerland counter-attack at speed. Drmic. He's had a little chance to express himself since coming on.
Normally, Rob, when teams do play against opposition that dominate possession in the fact that in the matter that Spain have tonight, it normally takes its toll. But the fact that Switzerland have been able to make so many substitutions means that the players should still have sufficient energy and fitness levels to stick into the game. But we see it so many times with a team that dominate possession, often start scoring goals in the last 15, 20 minutes when they've worn down the opposition. It's so hard, so demanding. Pretty much chasing shadows all night, having that discipline to stay in position. Some good experienced players in the Switzerland lineup. Here we see the skill for Vasquez, the back heel to Rodrigo, and a sharp goalkeeping from Jan Sommer. So Bellerin and Jamali and Berami in midfield. Good experience, good leaders as well, likes of Lichtsteiner at the back. Rodriguez has racked up the caps, and just 25 years of age. One or 2 younger players as well that can do the workload.
Asensio. Vasquez, oh, the diving header from Thiago. Given a lot of ground to get there.
Showing the enthusiasm you would expect from Spain to try and force the winning goal. Good build up, Monreal with a cross in, good diving header. Just doesn't get the contact that was required, that he was looking for. So at the very least hit the target. Aspas, one of those 3 strikers. Costa started the game, Rodrigo finishing it. It's important for Spain that one of them really does find form.
Well, Aspas was confessing in the press conference that he watches 5 games a weekend, which is half as many as Terry Gibson takes in over 48 hours on Saturday and Sunday. Thiago. to Vasquez. Azpilicueta. Managers will always say that results are not important in games like this, but Lopetegui will not want to lose his first game as a national team coach.
Well, you mentioned the boost it will give Switzerland as well. To play against Spain, perhaps not full-strength Spain, certainly not for the full 90 minutes, but if they can get the draw, set them up perfectly well. It's in good stead for the opening game against Brazil. Brazilian skill there from Thiago. It reinforces their belief, doesn't it, Switzerland, that they have this plan that they used against Spain, that they can somehow manage to do the same against Brazil in a proper game. Not with 7 or 8 substitutions per team, but certainly they're going in the right direction. You can see there Petkovic desperate to hold on to the draw. I nearly said the point. It will certainly have its merit if his team can go the full 90 minutes and get a draw away from home against Spain. PK looking to get forward, and he is doing the 90 minutes again.
As always. Always looks like he's played the 90 minutes as well. This is Vasquez. Puts it back. Sal steadies himself. Passes on to Koke.
Could be the other side who have taken it on with his left foot, wouldn't he, Sal?
Well, Koke's cross. Easy keeping for Jan Sommer. We talk about defensively. He's had 34 caps before tonight. He's had a clean sheet on average every other game for Switzerland. 17 clean sheets, 34 appearances. Sal. Zacharias did an excellent job. At his age, only 21 years of age, the Borussia Mönchengladbach central midfield man. Sal.
The two young players I was highlighting, Akanji, the 22-year-old centre-back, and Zacharias, 21 years of age, and next to him there were likes of Barami and Jamali and Lichtsteiner. It's got a good balance to the team.
Well, the referee issues are just one yellow card apiece, and they have both been for pretty nasty offences. He's not going to talk himself out of trouble. The referee's let an awful lot go this evening. Koke was caught. Zuber is arguing, maybe rightly, that he went for the ball, but no doubting it was a painful collision affecting the looks of Koke, and was rearranging his cheekbones.
I think he gets his arm up, doesn't he? But I'm not accusing him of throwing his elbow into the face of Koke. Self-preservation, maybe. Just give Spain the opportunity to get the ball into the box. And should be quality. It was delivery from Asensio. PK, of course, in there. Has to be. The only player over 6 foot tall.
Asensio goes for the low route. There's an excellent block from Embolo. Spain taking it beyond the 90 minutes. Constant pressure from that. Oh, just clipped the outside off the post as well. It was Nacho, of all people, who found himself in a striking position.
He's got a bit of everything, doesn't he? Right back, left back, centre back, holding midfield, and then we're seeing him trying to swerve it in with the inside of his right foot. He almost does the perfect job with that technique. It has a chance, doesn't it? When it leaves his boot, someone's giving it up. He's hoping, but it just goes the wrong side of the post, just clips the post and goes wide.
Well, they go to sleep, the Switzerland defence here. It was Rodrigo who was onto it, and all of a sudden they regain their consciousness as Rodrigo slipped between the two central defenders. Coach Petkovic is not best amused.
He should score. That was that space between the two that I was talking about in the opening 5 minutes of the second half. Hasn't happened for 30 odd minutes or so, but it's really opened up there.
Heads up. Oh, free header right at the net again. There's 2 chances in the space of a minute. Nacho thinks as many chances as he's had in his Spain national team career.
Well, he was unlucky with the first one that we saw clip the post, but he should score here. Makes a run forward, gets in between defenders. And from that range, it's a straightforward header, but he glances it instead of getting full contact, full power behind the effort. And again, wider the goal from Spain.
PK. And the referee ordered 3 additional minutes. Monreal. Well, it was the momentum that took him over, that little nudge from Embolo. Final chance for Spain. Hit towards the far post, and there is Rodrigo again. Well, not showing the sharpness. 2 chances he's had, and you can see it flashing through his mind. Maybe he's not done enough to get the striker's role when it comes to the first game against Portugal. Has been a trial for the strikers tonight. There is to be expected 1 central position open to Costa, Aspas or Rodrigo.
That's a close call, wasn't it? That Vinicius, Piniqueta, Rodrigo, both involved in trying to get on the end of PK's knockdown. Determined defending again from Switzerland. Spain doing all they can to get the winner. Switzerland doing all they can to hold on to the draw.
Well, a draw it is. I think the insight tonight is that both Spain and Switzerland have talent. Odriozola giving Spain the lead after 29 minutes for a fellow fullback, Ricardo Rodriguez, equalising in the second half. A brilliant workout tonight, both teams, with a lung-busting evening. It finishes 1-1. Well, let's have a little spin back. Spain playing a slightly weakened team, not relying on the Real Madrid players, of course, after the Champions League last week, but they do have such strength in depth. And they were creating chances from the opening 1.5 minutes. This is a brilliant save from Sommer to keep out Thiago.
It is good attacking play, sharp attacking play from Spain, but equally really good determined defensive play from Switzerland. You can see Zakaria with the first block. Barami gets a little deflection on this shot from Thiago. Sommer does well to tip it round the post.
Well, the young Odriozola came into the team. There's a right-back position, which could be up for grabs with Carvajal injured. He put in the cross for this, continued his run into the area, anticipated, and when it came, look at this for an execution.
I wonder if David Silva saw him, because he hooks it in the general direction towards the edge of the box. And Odriozola has plenty of time to... His only option sits up so nicely, invitingly for him to hit on.